Cross-examination, Mr. Ho.
Sir, you indicated that you neither trust nor like the police. Is that correct?
I said that.
I'm going to suggest to you that you especially don't like or trust Officer Fantasia.
No, I don't.
Especially now that as a result of this incident, you had had your parole revoked and gone back inside for another 6 months. Isn't that correct?
As a result of this incident, that's correct.
Now, I know that we've filed the record. I'm going to talk about the record a little bit. Your Honor, if I could see exhibit number 2, please.
Here it is, sir.
Sir, you were convicted of theft under on January the 23rd of 1998. You received an absolute discharge, correct?
I guess that's, if it's on the record, it must be correct.
And on February the 3rd of 1999, you also were convicted of fraud under. You received a suspended sentence for 12 months with probation, correct?
Can you repeat the date, please?
February 3rd, 1999.
Yeah, I have an extensive criminal record, so...
Right, well, we're going to talk about that as we go through it. And then on December the 10th of 1999, you were convicted of uttering a forged document, breaching probation. You received a total of 9 months in jail with another 12 months probation, correct?
If that sounds like my MO, that's correct.
And then on October the 10th of 2000, you were convicted again. I'm going to suggest to you of a fraudulent type offense, double doctoring, 5 counts, giving a false name, and you received a total of 15 months jail with 3 years probation, correct?
I have a very extensive record. It's probably correct, yes.
Right. And January the 5th of 2002, forgery, breach probation, you got another 18 months, plus another 3 months, correct?
Sure.
February 14th of 2004, you were convicted of theft over 2 counts and fraud under. You received a total of 10 months in jail for that, correct?
Yep.
And then the last conviction that we have on the record is from March the 15th of 2006. You were convicted of possession of a narcotic for the purpose of trafficking, and you got hit with 6 years on that one, correct?
That's why I ended up being in the federal institution in parole. That's correct.
Right, 6 years is a long time.
Sure is.
Inside, isn't it, sir?
Sure is.
And I'm going to suggest to you that it was Officer Fantasia who was the officer ultimately responsible for investigating and arresting you on the charges that ultimately put you in the federal penitentiary for 6 years, correct?
Yeah, he's a real peach.
And it's your view, is it not, sir, that conviction for that offense was something that you, in fact, didn't do?
That's what I maintain. I didn't do it.
All right. And was that conviction, was that after a trial or was that a guilty plea?
That was not during a guilty plea. This was a trial.
All right. So a trial took place, a judge and jury heard evidence and convicted you of that offense, correct?
That's correct.
And is it your view, sir, that Officer
Mr.
Fantasia...
Marley, you have an objection here?
Your Honor, yes, I do, to this extent, and I'm sorry, sir, I was...
Mr. Houle, Section 12 of the
That's right.
Canada
It can only
Evidence
go
Act
as far as the...
allows you to ask him, hold on, maybe I'm wrong.
No, the particulars of the conviction are fair game. The
But
facts
he's
that go
not the
behind it are
accused.
not.
He's not the accused.
No, he's not the accused.
He's not the accused, and I may have to apologize to Mr. Houle, because if he was the accused, Mr. Houle could only ask him about the conviction and the sentence, but I'm not sure that applies if he's a witness. I assume that's your point, Mr.
Well, it is, and it would mirror the ruling that you gave earlier, sir, I
Yeah.
think, as it relates
I
to
think,
the...
I think, Mr. Marley, that I'm incorrect, and I owe Mr. Houle an apology because this gentleman is not the accused. He's a witness in this situation. So, Mr. Houle, I will allow you to go on, and I will apologize to you for interrupting you.
Thank you, sir. So there was a trial that took place, a judge and/or judge and jury heard the evidence and ultimately convicted you, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And is it your view that somehow Officer Fantasia did something that was dishonest or unprofessional that resulted in you receiving that conviction?
Dishonest and unprofessional, to say the least, yes.
And tell me about that. What is it that you think Officer Fantasia did to you that resulted in you going to jail for 6 years?
Well, he lied to the court about what I was doing. Shall I elaborate?
Well, it's up to you, sir. I've asked you the question, so go ahead and tell me. How do you think Officer Fantasia lied?
Well, he told the court about a certain offense in question that I knew that a parcel that I was accused of delivering contained heroin inside, that I knew how much it was, and that I told him that I knew that it was heroin inside and how much it was. He even fabricated a location as to where I was supposedly dropping it off, and he lied to the court, resulting in my conviction.
But you'd agree with me, sir, that you're the one that has a record for dishonesty, correct?
A record for dishonesty?
Yes.
I maintained that I have an extensive criminal record for nonviolent crimes.
Well, sir, we've gone through your record, and would you not agree with me that the majority of convictions on your record are crimes of dishonesty, fraud, theft, double doctoring, giving a false name? Those are crimes of dishonesty. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Yes, those are certain. Yes, I would agree with you.
Right. So, in fact, you're the one that's the proven dishonest person. Isn't that correct?
I said that I was convicted and that I had a record. I never admitted to doing anything on the stand here today.
And so all of those offenses then that you were convicted of, you don't admit to? Those were all wrongful convictions for you?
I prefer not to admit guilt here today.
Well, unless His Honor directs you not to answer the question, you need to answer my question. Are you saying that each one of those convictions on your record were somehow wrongful convictions? You are innocent of those charges?
I'm going to direct you to answer that question, sir.
I'm not going to say that I have never committed crimes. I will say that some of those crimes for which I have a record for, I was indeed guilty of.
And some you were not?
Yes.
All right, which ones were you not guilty of? Would you like to have the record in front of you, sir?
Sure.
Exhibit number 2. May I approach the witness, please?
Yes, of course.
Sir, you go down this list for me, please, and you tell me which ones of those convictions you are not guilty of.
I'll admit to theft under, fraud, under forged document. I'd say I was not guilty of breach of probation.
I'm sorry, the first ones you admitted your guilt, the breach of probation, you say no.
That's right. Most of these, particularly the drug crimes and the property crimes, I'm indeed guilty of.
It'd be fair to suggest to you, sir, by your own admission, that you're not necessarily a very honest guy.
I'll admit to you that I have committed certain crimes to feed a drug habit.
And on this particular occasion, when you saw Mr. O'Brien strike Officer Fantasia, you in fact told police officers that you hoped that Officer Fantasia's jaw was in fact broken, correct?
I did hope that Officer Fantasia's jaw was broken.
Because you wish him harm?
I wish not to direct him harm from myself, but I would like to see harm befall him, yes.
Right. And that's why you're here today, not being truthful with this court about what you saw and about what happened on the night in question. Because you want to get back at Officer Fantasia, and this is your way to do it. Isn't that right?
I said that I would be truthful, but there's no secret here that Officer Fantasia has lied on the stand to me, and I do not like him.
But you and the truth, sir, aren't exactly best friends, are you?
No, we are not.
Right. And in fact, maybe, let me go somewhere else. You indicated to Mr. Marley, an examination in chief, that you had no recollection of anything being said by Officer Fantasia when he was on top of you. Isn't that correct?
I have no recollection, no.
So in
Not
fact,
when he was on top of me.
So in fact, it's quite possible, is it not, that he said or shouted or communicated to Mr. O'Brien that in fact he was a police officer?
I think I would have remembered that. I said I have no recollection of what was said. Meaning,
That's not my question, sir. My question is, because you have no recollection, it's possible, is it not, that Officer Fantasia identified himself as a police officer to Mr. O'Brien?
I stated that I have no recollection. I stated that it was a heated moment. Possible, perhaps I'd say very unlikely, given the fact that that's something that I would probably remember. I stated that I don't remember anything that was said while he was on top of me.
My question is whether or not it was likely or unlikely. My question or suggestion to you was that it was in fact possible that he identified himself to Mr. O'Brien as a police officer. Correct?
No, that's not correct. I would have remembered that.
I see. But you've indicated you have no recollection. You're on the ground, right?
Right.
And are you covering yourself up? You've got your hands on your head or your face? Because this officer is allegedly slapping you and beating you in the face?
Well, I'm trying, but my hands are somewhere near my face. He was hitting me.
So you'd agree with me, would you not, that your main concern here is covering yourself up and protecting your face and your head from this beating which you're allegedly taking?
Yes.
And I'm going to suggest to you that in the course of doing that, you couldn't possibly hear and see everything else that was going on around you.
Well, I admitted that I couldn't see, but my ears weren't being plugged.
No, but you indicated, sir, that you had no recollection of anything being said. That means you don't remember whether anything was said or not said, correct?
No, that's not correct. That's not what it means. What I mean is that there is not a memory in my mind of something being said at that time.
Right. And again, sir, my suggestion to you is just because you don't have a memory of it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Okay.
Fair enough?
That's fair.
Those are my questions. Thank you.
No re-examination, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.